I married your fat sister.
She got a great ass.
Testing. 1, 2. Now, we are now testing this out for proper modulation.
All week long.
Hello, my friends. Hello. Breaking the fourth wall, letting y'all know that I'm live, you're live, we're all live. And apparently this judge really loves Captain America. Yeah, Captain America right there. We're going to just jump right on into this. We just went live here. Not really sure burglary of a vehicle seems to be. He has a no contest plea. I guess the judge is about to sentence him. We're going to go ahead and get right on into it, shall we?
Sure.
Hold on, I need to type in something. Has anybody forced you to enter this plea, sir?
No, sir.
Besides the plea bargain you lawyer got for you, has anyone promised you anything in order to get you to do this?
No, sir.
You're doing this of your own free will.
Sir.
Is there a plea bargain? Could I ask the state to please recite it?
Yes, Judge. It's going to be on cause number 681962. It's going to be a $450 fine, court cost, 12 months deferred adjudication, 80 hours of community service,
Oof.
the ATSE course, restitution, if any, to the CWs, regular you.
Who?
The complaining witnesses, Judge, they're not listed.
Okay.
So if any,
The judge didn't
Okay.
know that.
regular
lingo,
UAs,
eh?
and the state will be taking into consideration cause number 674728 and 683211. Additionally, Judge, we would be asking for a no contact order with the alleged victims who are not named at this time.
Hello.
Okay. Is that to understand the plea bargain, Mr. Montgomery?
It is, Your Honor. I believe this, of course, no contact with an unnamed person. Will have to supplement that, or rather the state or probation will need
I
to
was talking to
supplement
Cream.
that.
If you give me 1 second, I can get those.
Got me
names for you,
behind
Judge.
schedule a little bit.
Just
I tell you what, it's been a long morning, Mr. Maru. Why don't we just have probation supplemented, okay?
Okay, I have them. I have one of them right here, Judge.
Okay,
It's Jose Hernandez.
okay. Is he gonna be one of the ones that you make restitution to and have regular, and no contact?
Correct, Judge.
Okay,
And then the other one is Douglas Wright with a W.
okay. All right, is that to understand the plea bargain, Mr. Montgomery?
it is, Your Honor.
Do you agree to this, Mr.
80
Fetters?
hours.
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Fetters, the court having heard you plead no contest, on that plea, the court finds you guilty. I follow the plea bargain. Wait a minute, I don't find you guilty. 1 second. You've been offered deferred adjudication, which is a fancy form of probation, and it can be a really good deal if you successfully complete it. But if you screw up and you get violated, you could be looking at the maximums in this case of a year and a $4,000 fine. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
You still want the deferred?
Yes, sir.
Okay, the court then having heard you plead no contest, on that plea, the court finds that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. However, I do not find you guilty. I instead defer or postpone any adjudication of this matter for 12 months. I put you on probation for 12 months. I assess a $450 fine plus court costs. I'm making a condition of your probation, of your deferred, that you do 80 hours of community service.
80 hours is a lot.
I'm going to order the ATSC course as a condition of your probation. I'm going to order that you make restitution
That's not good. Only boom
to
booms.
Jay Hernandez And D Wright.
Bomb pops are good.
In order that you do regular UAs,
That's a lot.
in order random UAs. And you have no contact, again, with the same people that you're supposed to make restitution to, if any. And that's going to be J. Hernandez.
Is the judge like
and
really rough writing?
D. Right.
Like he's really rough on that table he's writing on.
I'm also ordering, I'm taking into consideration, and this is what I'm going to ask you to do those dismissals before you leave this meeting. Taking into consideration will be 672015. That's completely wrong. Back up. Mr. Elias, let me get, all right. Taking into consideration will be 674728 and cause number 683. 683
Guys, we're gonna
211.
jump from this.
Fancy way
Hold
of
on
saying
to
those
that.
cases will be dismissed and returned for you plea in these cases.
Just throw this up as a bumper. Seems to be a very angry guy over here. Let's see what's going on. Never a good thing to start your day angry. For goodness sakes. Let's see what's going on.
Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Stripes, the court issued a warrant for your arrest and you failed to appear for a pretrial on July 12th, and we set bail at $1,000. This is on a charge of hit and run unattended. I'll quash that warrant at this point in time. I'll hear from the prosecutor on requests on bail and conditions of release. Counsel.
Your Honor, at this time, I'd ask that the bail just remain as set, based upon this failure to appear.
Okay, let's hear from the defense.
Your Honor, I'm just asking that he's PR'd and has standard release conditions on this matter.
Okay, I'm gonna leave bail at $1,000. I'm gonna set a readiness hearing for August 30th at 2 p.m. I'm gonna set a pretrial for August 30th at 2 p.m. A readiness hearing for September 12th at 2 p.m. The jury trial for September 30th at 9 a.m. Previously imposed conditions of release.
Hey, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I can't.
Your Honor.
Go ahead.
Can I say something? I've been in Aberdeen for the last month and I've been trying to get a government phone. I've been trying to get my disability on track. I've been trying to do everything right. And it's not fair that you're going to keep me here when I can use a phone on the outside from somebody from the community when you can, obviously, I don't need to be in jail right now. That's not fair. I never even got my phone call.
Bail stands.
That's ridiculous.
Uh-oh. He's not happy.
Next over the jail.
Oh,
Abby Marquette, Your Honor.
yo, double finger salute.
Fuck you, Judge.
Bring him back.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Here we go.
Did you want him back, Your Honor?
I want him back.
Wait, where your hands? Oh. We see this man. He wants the national.
Trying to get my fucking life back. My disability is fucking around. I was still so Nirvana, man. So sublime in Aberdeen, man. I couldn't come in.
What? What did he just say?
Mr. Sipes.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I'm gonna give you one chance to apologize to me for what you just said. I understand. Let me finish. I understand you're upset. You give me a good apology, and I'm not going to give you any jail time for contempt. I have found you in contempt.
Your Honor, I apologize because I'm
Okay,
not,
that's all I need. I understand. I understand.
I'm not breaking the law, man. I've been harassed here in Cowlitz for the last 2 years. I got 8 disorderly conducts.
Okay, hang on.
Harassment, it's discrimination against the mentally ill.
We're gonna send your lawyer over to talk to you right away.
I need
Okay?
to get PR, man.
I'm not gonna
get out
impose
of
any jail
here.
time.
Hate it here.
Okay, they're gonna take you out right now.
I gotta stay in booking for the next fucking 5 days. Come on, man. Give me a fucking sandwich. Fucking sub-zero temperature. I'm getting cold already, man.
Abby Barquette, Your Honor.
Okay. And you are Abby E.
That
Barquette, is
escalated
that
quickly.
correct?
Oh, yes, sir.
Barquette, the court issued a warrant for your arrest when you failed to appear for a pretrial
Mhm.
on
went nuts.
August 2nd, and we set bail at $500. I'm gonna quash the warrant at this point in time. And I'm gonna hear from the prosecutor on bail and conditions of release.
Ow.
Yes, Your Honor. My apologies for not having video at the moment. The defendant has 4 failure to appear warrants that she has received from April of this year to August of this year. For that reason, the state is not confident she would appear for future court dates. So we're asking that $500 be maintained as bail.
Okay, let's hear from the defense.
And Your Honor, defense would request that Ms. Barquette be PR'd on these charges. She is held on 2,500 bail for contempt out of Superior Court. I don't believe that's going to change anytime soon. She was PR'd in her municipal cases, and she's been held on this charge since she was picked up on the 4th. So she's already been sitting on this cause number for about 2 weeks now. So I would request PR at this time, and if we are ready to proceed with pretrial, I would be asking to set in custody trial dates.
Okay, I'm gonna leave bail as it stands
I'm over for
at
the ring.
$500. I'll set an August 30th, 2 p.m. Pretrial, a September 12th, 2 p.m. Readiness hearing, and a September 30th, 9 a.m. jury trial. Other conditions of release apply as they were already set, and we'll send over a new notice with these dates on it. Thank you, Ms. Barquette.
Now
I'll
jump
take
up,
care of it.
kick the chair, and give him the
Thank you,
double
sir.
finger salute.
Thanks, Your Honor. I believe that's my only matter.
Yes, I believe that's it. Thank you.
Go all Stone Cold
We have
Steve
now
Austin
over
on
to
the
jail.
guy.
Jessica Hammers, Your Honor.
Okay.
Oh, she picked her wedgie when she stood up. Good for her. Oh, look at this hair.
Jessica Renee Hammers, is that correct?
Obviously, she's not from this planet.
Ms. Hammers, the court has found probable cause
Hammers?
to hold you to answer to a charge of theft in the 3rd degree in a cause number that ends in 210. This is a gross misdemeanor with a maximum potential sentence of 364 days in jail and a $5,000 fine and $5,250 in assessments. The court has also found previously found probable cause to hold you to answer to a charge of failure to transfer title and trip permit violation and no valid operator's license without ID in the cause number that ends in 933. We issued a warrant for your arrest last September when you failed to appear for arraignment. I'll quash that warrant at this point in time. The failure to transfer title and the no valid operator's license without ID are simple misdemeanors with maximum potential sentences of
Please, Hammer, don't
90
hurt him.
days in jail and a $1,000 fine. The trip permit violation is a gross misdemeanor with a maximum potential sentence of 364 days in jail and a $5,000 fine plus assessments. You have the right to be represented by an
Good morning,
attorney of
Andy.
your own choosing, and if you cannot afford one, an attorney will be appointed at no expense to you. You're presumed innocent of each and every one of these charges unless and until the prosecutor proves each element of each charge beyond a reasonable doubt.
Uh-oh, that
You
guy
have a right
behind
to a
you's not
speedy
doing well.
trial, which is 60 days from arraignment if you're in custody on the charge, and 180 days from the readiness hearing if you're out of custody on that specific charge. You have a right to a jury trial. You have a right to hear and question the prosecutor's witnesses. You have a right to testify on your own behalf, call your own witnesses, and compel witnesses to appear at no expense to you. You have the right to remain silent. Your exercise of that right cannot be used against you in any way. You have the right to disqualify up to one judge if you do so in a timely manner. And if you're found guilty after a trial, you'll have the right to appeal. But a notice of appeal would then have to be filed in a timely manner also. If you plead guilty, you give up all of these rights. If you're not a citizen of the United States, you have the right to consult with an immigration attorney. The reason being that a criminal conviction for a non-citizen could result in deportation, exclusion from admission, or denial of naturalization pursuant to the laws of the United States. Now, would you like me to appoint an attorney to represent you in each one of these cases?
Sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna conditionally appoint the Grimm Law Group to represent you in each one of these cases. I said conditional because I've got to have you fill out an attorney application and we make sure that you do qualify. But for now, we do have the Grimm Law Group representing you. Mr. Frazier's here from that group. As I said, we'll enter a not guilty plea on each one of these charges. I'll hear from the prosecutor on requests on bail, and I will then hear from your attorney. Mr. File.
City is asking for standard release conditions. Does she not go to Sportsman's Warehouse, not drive without license, proof of insurance? And I'll defer to the court on bail on both matters at this point.
And Mr. Frazier on the issues.
Yeah, no objection, Your Honor. We're asking for the same standard release conditions.
Frazier.
Okay. On the cause number that ends in
scrambled eggs.
880, we haven't seen her since September. I'm going to leave the bail at $4,000. In the new theft in the third degree, I'm going to set bail at $1,000. I'll set the same dates on both of the cause numbers, which are August 30th, 2 p.m. Zoom pretrial, the September 12th, 2 p.m. Zoom readiness hearing, and a September 30th, 9 a.m. in-person jury trial. Conditions of release: have no criminal law violations. Report any change of address to the court clerk and your attorney. If you do make bail, immediately contact your attorney. Otherwise, I'll be up
He's having
to
a
see
time.
you. Fill out
You
an
gotta keep an eye on
application
that
for
guy.
court-appointed attorney. Got to be filed at least 2 weeks before the pretrial, and do not drive without a valid license and insurance. Do not enter any Sportsman's Warehouse or anywhere. Do not enter the Three Rivers Mall or parking lot in Kelso. I will send over all this paperwork for you. So you've got it.
We'll send you a laundry list of places to stay the hell away from.
James Shepherd, Your Honor.
Jane? Did she say Jane Shepherd?
And James Dwayne Shepherd, is that correct?
Yes.
Shepherd, the court issued a warrant for your arrest when you failed to appear for a pretrial on August 9th. And we set a bail at $4,000. I'm going to quash that warrant at this point in time, and I am going to hear from the prosecution and the defense. One moment, sir. I need to speak with the jail. Do we still have Ms. Hamers there? Hand me up the Hamers.
Stop. Bring back Hamers.
Do we still have Ms. Hamers from the jail?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I want her back in a second, okay?
Okay.
Very good. Okay, let's hear from the prosecution on Mr. Shepherd's case.
On Mr. Shepherd, the city is asking for standard release conditions. It looks like he was picked up on a number of warrants. I would ask that the bail remain as it was set last time.
Okay, let's hear from the defense.
Your Honor, we're actually asking for, right now we have quite a few. I'm looking at the violations right now. But we are asking for standard release conditions because to allow him to take care of the driving while license suspended in third degree, for him to take care of some of these matters and be able to contact DOL or DMV to resolve his matters. So we're asking for him to be PR'd on this issue specifically.
Okay.
Nancy, thank you.
You want to-
5 bones. $5.
I'm going to leave bail at $4,000. I've got 3 Longview warrants. I've got a Yakima warrant. I've got 3 Superior Court warrants.
Oh,
I'm
shit.
absolutely convinced that he will not appear if I were to release him on this case, so. We'll leave the bail as it is currently set at $4,000. I'll set a pretrial for August 30th at 2 p.m. September 12th, 2 p.m. Zoom readiness hearing, and a jury trial for September 30th at 9 a.m.
The judge just said there's no
And I've
way in
reset
hell I believe you
conditions for
coming
this
back for
case.
all
Have
these
no criminal
charges.
law violations, report any change of address to the court clerk and your attorney complete, and I don't believe we have an application for court-appointed attorney. Do not drive without a valid license.
drive
and
inside the
insurance. We'll
jail.
Send over all this paperwork. Okay. Thank you. We have Ms. Hammers back.
Yes, Your Honor.
Move it. You lost, Junior. You lost. Oh, we'll get
Ms.
over there.
Hammers,
soon.
I misstated
done.
something when I was, when you were before the court. On the cause number that ends in 210, that's the new theft charge. I did set bail at $1,000. However, I misstated on the other charge where you've got the failure to transfer title, trip permit violation, and no valid operator's license. Bail is actually set at 2,000 on that one, not 4,000. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
None but good news for Hammer.
Your Honor, Richard Duggar, Brody Richardson, and Tyler Sherman refused court today.
Okay, on Mr. Duggar,
Well,
he failed to appear for arraignment. The court
what we're going to do is we're going to jump over to Judge Cedric and see what's going on. We say we got some people wanting to fight the judge today, trying to fight the law. Make sure you go ahead and like this video as we prepare warp speed or barely warp speed, fairly warp speed, kind of sort of warp speed. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Hey, Jacob, long time no see, bud.
Miss Voluntarily,
Yes, I am.
you're on free will.
Yes, sir.
And because you believe that you are indeed guilty,
Yes, sir.
July 26, 2022, at the location of 402 East Huron, City of Ann Arbor, Washtenaw County, State of Michigan. And I do have to advise you, sir, that by taking your plea, I would not be your sentencing judge, and you would be sentenced before Judge Perry. Understanding that, sir, do you still wish to enter this plea?
Yes, I do, sir.
All right. So on the date, 7/26/2022, 402 East Huron Street, City of Ann Arbor, Washtenaw County, State of Michigan, what did you do involving certain property of Firestone Auto Care that makes you think that you're guilty?
Thank you, Dick Harris.
There was an argument between me and the shop owners, and I got a little bit frustrated, and I took my elbow and I hit a garage door, and it didn't break all the way, but it caused like a little bit of a spider web, and they had to
On the window of the garage door?
Yep, the window. Yep.
Okay, so you took your elbow and you broke a window of the business, is that right?
Yep. And I paid a restitution already.
All right, but you did damage that property, and you did that intentionally when you did that to the window.
Yes, I did, sir.
All right. And the value of the window, was that greater than $200?
It was 300.
Okay, and that's greater than 200, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so that's a yes. All right, counsel, have I complied with the court rule and would it be proper to accept this defendant's plea?
People are satisfied, Your Honor. Thank you.
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will accept the defendant's plea of guilty to count 2. Count 1 is dismissed. Sir, pre-sentence investigation and report is ordered at 15th District Court probation. Sentencing in this matter will be September 2nd, 2022, 9:30 before Judge Perry. Bond will continue.
Is this
Thank
the
you, sir.
guy? I mean, we can only see the tip of his head. I could have been anybody.
Courthouse case, People versus Jesse Ridley.
Ashley Lonnie for the people.
Yes, Your Honor. Present.
Ron Brown appearing on behalf of Mr. Ridley, Your Honor.
What are we doing?
I'd ask the court to set a Zoom preliminary examination.
And Your Honor, for the record, there was an offer to plead guilty to count 2, the DV first offense. For an dismissal of count 1, I'll consider that rejected.
Ms. Fields discussed the matter with Mr. Ridley. We'd ask for exam.
September 6th, 2022, 9 a.m. via Zoom. That is before Judge Washington.
Just went to court this morning.
Bond will continue.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Court calls case, People versus Larry Robinson.
Did you get off?
Caitlin Kirby on behalf of the people.
Mike Gaddy, Assistant Public Defender on behalf of Mr. Robinson, Your Honor. Mr. Robinson, state your name.
Larry Robinson.
All right, what are we doing?
Your Honor, this matter had previously been adjourned to try and seek admission to the sobriety court in Wayne County. They are not were informed yesterday afternoon that they're not taking transfer cases. I'd ask the court to maybe adjourn this matter 2 weeks so we can seek another possible resolution and find another basket for our eggs.
Why are we picking up eggs?
Okay. I'm not sure what that means, but that's a very colorful Easter-like statement. Court, probable cause will be adjourned September 8th, 2022, 9 a.m. Bond continue.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Court does call the case of the People versus Omar Abdallah.
Omar Abdallah, the
Afternoon, Your Honor.
butcher.
Nicole Hughes on behalf of the people.
And good afternoon, Your Honor. Alex Giuliani appearing on behalf of Omar Abdallah, and I'm also standing in for attorney of record Ray Kassar.
All right, Mr. Abdallah, can you identify yourself, please?
I am Omar Abdallah.
All right, what are we doing on this?
Your Honor, we are asking for an adjournment. Mr. Kassar would like to send a mitigation letter over to Ms. Hughes. So we're asking for an adjourned probable cause conference.
All right, any objection from the people?
No objection.
He only makes
Probable
food.
cause conference will be adjourned September 8th, 2022, 9 a.m.
Okay.
Or as your Zoom invite indicates, bond with its conditions will continue.
Thank you.
Your Honor, also, we do have a travel request. Mr. Abdallah has to travel for work to Maryland on August 23rd and 24th.
August 23rd and 24th. What part of Maryland?
Columbia, Maryland.
Columbia.
To Columbia?
I used to go there all the time.
Oh, good city.
They have an amazing mall.
But that's okay. Defendant may travel August 23rd, 24th to the state of Maryland.
Great, thank you, Your Honor.
Very good. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Come again.
Court calls case of People versus Zachary Ziegler.
Mr. Ziegler.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Uwe is also appearing with and on behalf of Zachary Ziegler here for first public court conference. Mr. Ziegler is in the room here with me. If you could briefly show yourself. Good. There he is.
All right.
That's just fine. There's a reason for us to keep distance. If you could sit back down, that'd be great.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, what are we doing?
In principle, asking for an adjournment of the public court conference. We just substitute in. We're gathering the
All right, we're going to jump from there, heading to one of our favorite cities in the world. Well, actually, county is not a city. I mean, it could be. Licking. Where are you from? We from Licking. Come on in, have a seat. Pull up a chair. Gather around. Licking everybody. No, I don't mean licking everybody. I mean just licking.
I have been under the same perseverance of that attorney since I was 14 years old. And other than that, I am Wayne. I am John Wayne's younger son.
Okay.
What have we walked in on?
And Florence Mackerel, Maxine Powers.
Where do you live, Mr. Dean?
I am staying off to the sideline because I'm doing seismology and broadband research from the sideline of my own property.
What? John Wayne's son is here?
And I'm just trying to save some financial recollection on insurance overcosts through Germany and Israel inlet flow towards the United States and tampering with the overcost of insurance.
Okay.
That's why I'm doing seismology through State Farm and Geico and Mutual Omaha and Prudential.
Okay.
Mutual.
I'll set your bond at $1,500 cash surety or 10%. If you need a court-appointed attorney, fill out an application, okay?
You got anything to say? Let him talk.
Anything else?
Next matter is
Arriva
CRB
Dirty.
1311, State of Ohio versus Jessica Hines.
On my way.
Heinz? I'm part of the Heinz ketchup fortune.
Today's hearing is being recorded. Anything you say can be used against you in the future. You have a right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, you can make an application for a court-appointed attorney. I have a complaint here charging you with domestic violence. Did you receive a copy of that complaint?
I just said yes, sir.
Okay. You have the right for me to read that aloud to you. Do you need me to read it to you today?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Maximum penalty for that offense is 180 days in jail and a $1,000 fine. You have any questions about that charge?
No. We're good.
How would you like to plea today?
Not guilty, sir.
Okay. Want to say anything before I set your bond?
Unfazed.
I'm sorry?
You want to say anything before I set your bond?
Just with the bond, I just found out that my spinal fusion broke. I'm fused from T12 all the way down to L3, and just found out last week that spinal fusion is broke. I have an appointment already set up at the doctor's office tomorrow to go over this, what they're going to do with the future breakage of my back now. So if you can kind of just keep that in mind as far as an OR bond, I would appreciate it.
Okay. What day is your appointment?
Tomorrow morning at 9:45.
Okay.
Tomorrow, Judge. Come on. No better than that.
If you have somewhere you can stay?
That residence is my residence. That's my house. That's my home.
Okay.
2288, that's my house.
Mr. Cheney left the residence?
Yeah, he left last night as far as I know. I don't know where he's at.
Okay, well, if he's there, you can't stay there. Okay?
All right, correct. If not, I'll reside at my daughter's house if he is there.
Okay.
Beat somebody's ass. Can't believe this. Got some crazy eyes. She broke her back. She's got to go to the doctor tomorrow. They're going to fix her back. In case somebody doesn't understand what's going on. All that technical jargon she was throwing at us. Got a doctor's appointment. She's addicted to, she's got to go to the doctor tomorrow. Look, the son of John Wayne. I mean, he'd be treated like royalty, man. She got a breakage in her back. She had a fusion and it's broke. A broken down fusion. Man, she's sweating it up, man. She is really going to town on some sweating. It's a hot fish. Well, I mean, a hot flash. Hey, everybody, make sure you go ahead and like this video. You just missed John Wayne's son. If you missed that, you missed a lot. Make sure you rewind. Where's Sue at?
Okay, I'll release you today on the condition you have no violent contact with Jonathan Cheney. You understand that?
I didn't hear you. I'm sorry, what?
I'll release you today on the condition you have no contact with Jonathan, no violent contact with Jonathan Cheney.
Okay.
Any chance Jonathan isn't there at that house? right now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Radio Fiffy, thank you for the cheers.
Hallelujah.
Twitterloo, everybody.
Next matter is 22 CRB 1310, 22 CRB 496, State of Ohio versus Donald Hurley. Mr. Hurley, failed to appear for trial back on June 28th. What happened there?
It got to my case got continued, and I never received anything in the mail, and I have the same address. I never moved. Never received anything to tell me my new court date. My attorney never contacted me. I even called my attorney, and he never called me back and told me, because I wanted to be there to like jury trial because I'm innocent and I have proof I'm innocent. I didn't mean to miss it. But the fact that I did miss it, it really got me upset because now I'm in jail again for the second time for a crime I didn't even do.
Okay.
Because the communication got messed up somehow, and
Who was your attorney?
David Barr.
Well, that last lady did break hers
Is he on it?
in a
He's on the case.
15-woman battle royal. So
Okay.
she
I have a
asked,
new charge here for criminal trespass. Did you receive a copy of that one?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Do you need me to read that to you today?
No.
Okay. Maximum penalty is 30 days in jail, $250 fine. You have any questions about that charge?
No.
Okay. How would you like to plead?
No contest.
You understand that the facts in the complaint and the police report are sufficient to convict you of that? I'd find you guilty today.
Yes.
Okay. You understand you're waiving your right to an attorney?
Yes.
You understand you're waiving your right to a trial, either to a jury or to the court?
Yes.
he ain't messing around.
They locked me out when my tools were there, and I went back to grab my tool bag, and I got in trouble.
Yeah.
Papa's got a brand new bag. We got a courtroom full too. So once we are done through these people, we're heading to the courtroom.
It's a poor mistake, dude. Bad decision.
They stole my teeth, my tools. I meant to be here today. My lawyer's fault. I want every cent I paid him back. Oh, he was court appointed? Never mind.
Okay. Do you agree that you were at Crispin's without privilege to be there?
Yeah, I went back up to get my tool bag. They locked my tools in there.
Okay. All right. Based
And
on that, I'll accept your no contest plea. I find you guilty of trespass. You want to say anything before I sentence you today?
I just was working on a friend of mine's car, and they locked my tools in there when they closed. They locked me in there before, actually, when they closed, and I've had to go through the fence to get out because they locked me in there. So they're really bad about that, I guess. But I just felt bad that my friend was going to miss work today because I couldn't put his car back together because my tools were in there. So I made the poor choice to go in there and get my tools so I could put his car back together so he didn't have to miss work. And well, this happened. So just a poor decision.
God.
Okay. You want the other
It
case
wasn't for
reset?
criminal activity, though.
You want the other case reset for jury trial?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And if I'm on bond on that.
Have you guys ever been locked into your work? Like he just said he would be at work and they would just forget he was there and lock him in overnight. I mean, it's happened. Not only did it happen once, it's happened a bunch of times. Most unfortunate man in the world.
Okay, I'm working at Herbs Recycling in Columbus.
Well, good.
3 kids that just went back to school, so I don't really have the money to pay a bond right now. 3 kids going back to school is expensive. School supplies and clothes. I don't have the money to pay another bond right now.
Protractors aren't cheap, Your Honor. Protractors aren't cheap.
I don't want to lose my job.
Go on.
Okay. Court costs in 3 days on the trespass.
Vinny, I didn't forget you. Thanks for the penny.
Failure to appear, such a bond. That's
Fairly good chance of that. Two heads a little lopsided. Can't tell though. I just had 3 kids go back to school, Your Honor.
2,500 cash surety 10%.
I just had to register 16 dogs.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Yep, he's going nowhere. Have a seat.
Next matter is 22 CRB 881, State of Ohio versus Rick Jarvis. Oh, I'm sorry. Is there somebody else? Okay. Okay. All right, yeah, Mr. Jarvis, come on. Have a seat at the table.
Oh, he called somebody that's inside the courtroom by
Jarvis
accident.
failed to appear for pretrial conference. What happened there?
I was never notified that I was supposed to be at pretrial conference. My
have
attorney told me that I had court on the 15th of this month.
Okay.
And I didn't realize that it was the pretrial was before that.
Okay. Did you show up on the 15th?
Actually, no, I didn't know I didn't get able to. I wasn't able to because they had already issued a warrant because I didn't show up at pretrial.
Okay. All right. So you posted bond, yes, today? Or?
Yeah, yesterday.
All right. You want that reset for trial then?
Yes.
All right.
He's around. He's selling stuff. He's at a yard sale.
Okay, I'll continue. Your bond is posted. We're going to withdraw.
JA, you know the
You need to
deal.
get in touch with your attorney as soon as you can, okay? All right. Next matter is 22 CRB 1214, State of Ohio versus Romeo Evans.
Oh, we are in seeing these people. That's weird.
Mr. Evans, I have 2 complaints here charging you with aggravated menacing. Did you receive a copy of those?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You need me to read those to you today?
No, sir.
Okay. Maximum penalty for those offenses is 180 days in jail and a $1,000 fine. Do you have any question about those charges today?
No, sir.
Okay. How would you like to plead?
Not guilty, sir.
Oh.
You want to say anything before I set your bond?
No, sir. Do I turn this into you?
Yeah, give it to the bailiff when we're done here. Let's see here. You live on 7th and Edna?
Actually, sir, I don't live there no more.
Okay.
I live at 6359 Summit Road.
Okay.
It's where my job is, sir.
All right. Did you put that on your paperwork? there?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I believe, or yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. You working somewhere?
Yes, sir.
Crazy, eh?
Well, I was looking at Double Diamond Landscaping. Now I work for Sunburst Pools.
Okay.
From landscaping to pool man, this guy does it all.
I worked at Double Diamond for about 5 years, and the pay never changed, sir.
Okay.
Giving out health tips over here today. I love it. Oh, I'm so far behind on these comments. You're working Sunday cleaning out a storage room. I always thought, wow, they just maybe it is not that rare. His kids have already gone back to school. He's already had to purchase everything. I hated when we go buy stuff for our kids, and we'd always buy too much.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
I had a appointment scheduled for my Caesars, and they said that it was like really hard to get into there. So like, if anything doesn't happen, is there
Cole.
a possible way I get like some type of writing to prove to them like it was an actual important missing it?
Your summons wasn't for today, was it? Oh, it was. Okay. But on your complaint there, it says you were summoned to court today.
Must have been a great book
Yes, sir.
since you fell asleep.
Show 'em that.
Oh, I can show them that?
If you want, I don't know how else to help you there, but
Oh, okay.
it says you were supposed to be here today at 12:45
Okay.
on the summons you have right there.
Which one's that, sir?
The complaint you
I'm
got
sorry.
with the charge on it, the paper with the charge on it, you have it?
You've lived a life worth talking.
You have a paper that they send you?
Oh, yes, sir. It's in the car.
Okay.
I had it, took it all out.
Your
of my
charges,
car.
it's on your charge, it says
wobbling in.
summons underneath that, it tells you when you have to be at court.
Oh,
I assume that's
okay.
why you're here today.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah,
sir. I'm
because you
sorry.
got that in the mail, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that has your court date and time on it. I'll release you today on your own recognizance, on the condition you have no contact with Thomas or Michael Rutherford. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Keep away from Mr. Rutherford.
That's why I moved, sir. That they were my
Everybody's got a
neighbors.
hospital
Okay,
doctor.
that sounds good.
Got away.
Good that you're away from it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
He said he had to go get an appointment for his seizures.
Next matter is 21 TRD 8401, State of Ohio versus Julian Bowers.
What were you doing there, Pat? Just hanging out at the battlefield talking to ghosts?
Mr. Bowers, you missed your driving under suspension hearing. What happened there?
I ended up going out of state, kind of got stranded, just now getting back in Ohio.
Okay.
Got stranded out of
Get all
state.
my legal stuff situated.
Okay. This was a ticket from September of last year charging you driving under suspension. You want that reset for trial, or what do you want to do with that charge?
You said get it reset. I paid off the fine that I owed to the state of Ohio on what is it? My fees.
Okay.
Driver's license.
Well, this is an insurance suspension.
Insurance. Yeah, I owed $150.
Okay.
Oh, hold on. That means that I was driving without insurance, right?
Oh, no. Well, that's what you got suspended for. Yeah.
Right. Well, at the time, the judge told me to pay off the off the fine and come back to court. I never came back to court, but the fine was paid off.
On another ticket?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was supposed to go back and just get the insurance
Guy's a
and
package, man. That says it all.
insurance and license.
Yeah.
And yeah, I never did. I paid off the fine.
Okay. Well, I'm not showing that you owed any fine here. You might have owed it. It doesn't say anywhere, actually. So I don't know. Did you have a ticket after this ticket?
No.
No. Okay. Well, this is just a charge for driving under suspension. Your suspension was for not having insurance at some point back in 2018.
Speaking with spirits, the past.
No, 2018 was when you got suspended. This ticket's from last year in September. Okay. The maximum penalty for that is 500 hours of community service and a $1,000 fine. You want to reset for trial? Or do you want to plead guilty today? Okay. All right. You understand that a guilty plea is a complete admission of your guilt?
Yes.
You understand by pleading guilty, you're waiving your right to a trial?
Yes.
Okay. I accept your guilty plea if I find you guilty. Pay $125 in court costs. Okay. Thank you.
Well, that's pretty easy.
Next matter is 22 CRB 1220, State of Ohio versus Jennifer Gokenauer.
Who? Jennifer, come on down.
Oh, okay. Mark. Thank you.
All right. I enjoy this as much as the
Gokenauer
next
got
guy,
the record.
but we're going to jump out of here. We're going to jump.
He left his hat, Mark.
All the normal people are here now.
I have a complaint here charging you with child endangering. Did you receive a copy of that complaint?
Yes.
Do you need me to read that complaint to you today?
Yes.
Okay. The maximum penalty for that offense is 180 days in jail and a $1,000 fine.
All right. We're going to jump over here to Dallas County Protective Order Court. See if we have some protective orders going out today. Those are usually pretty interesting. A lot of information. We get to hear both sides of the story, typically. Or we just found out that lady's daughter had evil eyes one time. We did learn that. Let's jump on into Dallas.
This is the Fennel Davis, Justin Jenkins.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
yeah.
They're ready.
Bye, Carol. Bye, Brittany. But all y'all stuff is in, right? Carol and Brittany.
Yes, and Judge, I sent you our Jenkins and Davis, the non-suit, to your email. I just wanted, they're confusing.
Just
but-
getting started. I like
Okay.
it.
All right. Thank you. See
Okay,
y'all later.
thank you. Y'all have a good weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, you're not coming back, Brittany? Is everybody leaving? Don't say that after I just got over here. Come on now. There we go. Justin Jenkins is here.
Okay. All right, is
Phenomenal.
everyone ready?
I'm saying these two guys used
Yes.
to date.
Yes.
Mr. Jenkins, yes?
Yes.
That's my guess.
Okay, we're on record in cause number CV 2200482. Please state your names for the record.
I'm Robert. I'm here for Fennell Davis.
All right.
Okay, state your names.
First name Justin, last name Jenkins, representing myself.
Fennell Davis.
Okay, all those intending to testify, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you'll give will be the truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay,
Absolutely.
thank you. You can call your first witness.
Thank you, Judge. I'm going to call Fennell Davis.
Okay,
Mr. Davis, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. One thing I do want to tell you with respect to being on Zoom, it's real important that we not talk over each other because it's difficult for you to hear if you're in court if people are talking over each other, but it's really hard on Zoom. So if you can wait till I finish my question before you answer it, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. Mr. Davis, are you married?
Yes, sir.
All right. And who are you married to?
Justin Jenkins.
And how long have you been married?
9 months as of now.
Okay. The two of you married October 4th of 2021, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. And with respect to your marriage, did the two of you live together at the beginning of your marriage?
Yes, sir.
All right. Did the two of you separate around the end of February, early March of 2022?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Have there been incidents during your marriage where Mr. Jenkins has physically assaulted you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And was there an incident in November of 2021 where you had to call the police?
Yes, sir.
All right. And with respect to your injuries in that incident, first of all, what did Mr. Jenkins do that caused you injury?
He scratched me right along my eye on the right side.
Okay.
Right.
And okay. Was this scratching you with his hand or with an object?
With his hand.
Okay. And you did call the police, is that correct?
Well, I didn't call the police. I think one of the neighbors did.
Okay. But
Before I got a chance.
the police arrived?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And
Yes, sir.
Mr. Jenkins was arrested, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And did you end up trying to reconcile with Mr. Jenkins?
Yes, sir. We did try to.
Okay. And you dropped the charges against him trying to reconcile from that November incident, is that right?
No.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then around the end of February, March, you guys separated again. Did Mr. Jenkins move out or did you move out?
He moved out first.
Okay. And did you subsequently go and get an apartment on your own?
Cat fight.
Yes, sir. At the beginning of March.
Okay. And where were you living?
At the Lively at Firewheel.
Okay. That's in Garland, right there off George Bush and 78.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Where?
And did you sign a lease in just your name?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And did you put Mr. Jenkins on the lease as a co-signer or as an additional occupant of the apartment?
No, sir.
Okay. After you moved into this apartment, did Mr. Jenkins in April of this year try to gain access to your apartment?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Was there another incident in June of this year, June 29th of 2022, where Mr. Jenkins came over to your apartment at the Lively there at Firewheel and tried to gain access to your apartment?
Lively
Yes,
at the
sir.
Firewheel?
Okay. And did you call the police in Garland as a result of that June 29th, 2022 incident?
Yes, sir.
And what happened to Mr. Jenkins?
And he was escorted off the premises.
Okay. Now, that day, was there a confrontation where Mr. Jenkins was following you in Dallas earlier on June 29th of 2022?
Yes, sir. Around 1:00 p.m.
And where was that? What area of Dallas was that?
It was off of Douglas and Lemon Street.
Okay.
Uptown now.
Okay. And were you stopped at a stoplight when
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
approached you?
Yes, sir.
And what did he do?
Uh-oh.
I had my window down. He reached in my window at my face, scratched my face, pulled my glasses off and broke them. And the light changed and I left and called the police.
Okay. And is that when you went back to your apartment and later that day is when Mr. Jenkins showed back up at your apartment and the Garland police escorted him away?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
I want to ask you about July 4th of 2022. Did Mr. Jenkins show up at your apartment at the Lively in Garland again without your permission?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
And tell the judge, were you inside the apartment?
Yes, sir.
And how did Mr. Jenkins show up at your apartment?
And he just walked in the door when he showed up in his aunt's car and just walked in the door, and I was in the closet and I came out and he was in my kitchen.
Okay. And did you ask him to leave your apartment?
Multiple times.
Okay. Did you physically try to escort him out of the apartment?
Yes.
Okay. And were the police called as a result of that incident also?
Yes, sir.
Have you ever given Mr. Jenkins a key to your apartment that you had at the Lively at Firewheel in Garland?
No, he took it off my key rack when he came over.
Which time?
Okay, Justin's dangerous, right? I mean, he's doing all these things. He's stealing keys to get inside apartments. They're a married couple. So, I mean, I don't know how the whole apartment thing would work, even, wherever they live together. But it seems like we're building to keep Mr. Jenkins away from Mr. Davis's junk.
That was when we was talking, we was actually reconciling, trying to, I had my key on my key rack. I don't remember the exact day. And that's why I ended up getting my locks changed on the 29th.
Okay. So the incident on the 29th and the incident on July 4th, he did not have a key to your apartment. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think these guys are in the closet at all.
With
They're
respect to
married.
the
Have
application
been
for the
married for 9
protective
months.
order, you're asking the judge to grant you a protective order that orders Mr. Jenkins to stay away from you and from your residence and from your any place of work. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And what do you believe will happen if the court were not to grant you a protective order today?
Don't kill him.
Do you believe? I'm sorry, go ahead.
I believe that he probably would try to cause physical harm because it's just been too much, following, logging into my accounts and just numerous of things and putting your hands on me and scratching my face constantly. So I believe that he would probably do some physical damage or harm to me because he's a bigger guy than me.
Okay. And have you and Mr. Jenkins resided together within the last 30 days? Have you lived together within the last?
No.
Okay. I'll pass the witness.
Mr. Jenkins, do you have any questions for Mr. Davis?
Not necessarily questions, but
Right now is only questions, so do you have any questions for Mr. Davis?
yes.
Okay,
My question is, I wanted to know if
Did he ever love me?
you never granted me permission in the place of residence that we both lived in.
Huh?
What's the question?
I
What's the
wanted to
question
know, like,
again?
you never granted permission for me to live there with you at the Lively?
Not to live there with me, no, but to try to work things out and talk, and you came over.
So we didn't live together from May the 1st till June 29th.
No, we did not live together. You
No.
had your stuff in your car in your house.
No further questions, Your Honor.
okay. Mr. Lamb?
Judge Cooks, I have a witness, Amber Featherstone, that I've got about 10 minutes of questions for her.
Okay, can we
Amber
get
Featherstone.
Amber
Come on down.
Featherstone?
Bring it right now, Bruce.
I mean, I feel like that was enough to grant him any protection order. Just hearing that. I mean, Justin was mumbling and stumbling. Hello, Mrs. Featherstone.
Okay, hi, ma'am. Can you raise your right hand?
Mhm.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you'll give will be the truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Featherstone, can you please state your full name?
Yes, my name is Amber Featherstone.
Okay, and are you employed?
Yes,
Who do you work for?
I work for the Lively at Firewheel.
Okay, is that an apartment complex in Garland off of 78 and George Bush?
Yes, it is.
Okay, and are you familiar with Fennell Davis?
Yes, I am.
Okay, and what job for the Lively at Firewheel?
I'm sorry, the audio cut out. Can you say that one more time?
Sure, what is your job for the Lively at Firewheel?
I am the assistant manager here.
Okay, so are you involved in working with people who are interested in leasing and have leased apartments there at the Lively?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. And are you familiar with Fennell Davis?
Yes,
Okay, and did Mr. Fennell Davis, did he lease an apartment from the Lively at Firewheel in March of 2022?
yes, that is correct.
Okay, and other than Mr. Davis, did anybody else co-sign on that lease for that apartment?
No, sir.
Okay, did Mr. Davis
Alive.
provide any information to add any additional occupants for that apartment at the Lively at Firewheel?
No, sir.
All right. Now, I want to ask you about an incident in April of 2022. Did a gentleman by the name of Justin Jenkins show up at the Lively at Firewheel to seek permission to get into Mr. Davis's apartment?
Yes,
And did you speak with him?
yes.
And what did he say to you?
He said he needed to get into the apartment to get some items, but he was not able to get in. He asked for a key and we would not give him one.
Does she have an
Okay.
Invisalign?
And when you told him you would not give him one, how did he react?
He was upset, because we wouldn't allow access. He's not on the lease, so he was upset about that, yes.
Okay. And ultimately, did he leave?
Yes, after a little while of talking there, yes, he did leave.
Okay, and about how long did he stay there, trying to gain access to Mr. Davis's apartment?
It could have been anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes.
Okay. And I want to ask you about an incident in June 29th of 2022. Did Mr. Jenkins again come back to the leasing management office at the Lively at Firewheel?
He did come back on a second occasion.
And
Yeah.
why did he show up? What did he tell you he was there for?
He had come in to request access into the apartment to get some belongings.
Okay. And what did you tell him?
And we told him we could not give him access because he's not a leaseholder. And we
Okay.
could not give him a key.
Okay. And did Mr. Jenkins argue with you about that?
It was more of just kind of
Scratched her in the
I
face.
guess disbelief that we wouldn't give him a key after whatever incidences. But he did end up leaving shortly after.
Okay. And are you aware that the Garland police were called that day to escort Mr. Jenkins off of the property there at the Lively on June 29th?
Yes.
Okay. Were you aware that Mr. Jenkins came back to Mr. Davis's apartment on July 4th of 2022?
I don't have documentation on that one, so I can't confirm if he was there. I don't believe so.
Okay. Okay. And at any time during Mr. Davis's lease that he had with the Lively at Firewheel, at any time, was Mr. Jenkins ever added on the lease as a co-signer or as an occupant entitled into Mr. Davis' apartment?
No, sir.
Okay, I'll pass the witness. Thank you.
Y'all getting so lively over here at the
Mr.
Firewheel.
Jenkins, do you have any
Comment.
questions for Ms. Featherstone?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Okay.
Ms. Featherstone, so the date in April when I came to the office to get access to the apartment, I was talking to you about retrieving my personal belongings and furniture and clothes and all of my things outside of the apartment. You told me that I would initially have to talk to Mr. Davis or wait a day that he's not there. And I told you that I could call him on the phone, and I called him in front of you after he changed the locks the first time from our apartment and he let me in. Is that true or not?
What?
Between the calls, the many calls, I don't remember specifics regarding y'all's conversations between each other. At every moment I have spoken with Vanell, I was told that you were not able to have access.
Got you. Also, how many times have you seen my vehicle nor myself at that residence?
I had seen you a few times. Your vehicle, I don't have your vehicle information, so I can't confirm if your vehicle was here or not. But I had seen you in the apartment at least on one occasion, which we discussed with Vanell about that going forward.
And going also, there's been multiple times that the apartment maintenance guy have come to our apartment to fix certain things, and I've let him in. And he's also told me that he's communicated that with you as well.
Okay.
I just want to know,
he's trying to prove that he's been
how do you not know that I'm living there when you see me there multiple days? We run into each other.
You had told me that you were vacating the apartment on the first instance that you came in to ask for a key. You told me you wanted to get your belongings, that you would not be there because I told you as an unauthorized occupant, you would have to be on the lease in order to be provided a key or any kind of access. At that point in time, it was my understanding that you were just a visitor and you were not living there. I can't speak on behalf of maintenance because I have not been in the apartment on the maintenance request calls. I do not know who answered the door and who responded to those work orders.
And also, you were there when the Garland police officers escorted me off of premises?
I was in the office and I saw the police at their residence, but I did not see any escorting of any kind.
The law took them off.
No
the
further
property.
questions, Your Honor.
Okay, thank
Did
you.
you see me
Is Ms.
leaving?
Featherstone free to go?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you, Ms. Featherstone.
Okay,
With the
thank you,
law?
ma'am.
Mhm.
You call your next witness.
That's
Your
it.
Honor, the applicant rests.
Okay, the applicant rests. What says you, Mr. Jenkins? Do you have any witnesses?
Nope.
She just had to go out for work. I don't know if she's still available, but it's Miss Regina Sanders. If she's on the call.
Good to see you, Charlie. Riding in on the pain train.
No one by
Okay.
that name ever logged in.
Okay, I think she had to leave for work, but the detective told me that she wouldn't be needed for this.
I'd like to call the Queen of England if she's still logged in. She said she might have work. If she's not available, I'm calling Oprah Winfrey.
Case due to this was just a protective order, but she was just a witness stating that she's the one who called the police, and Mr. Davis put his hands on me and would not let me out the door. But going forward, I did live at that address. The police did come on multiple occasions. The police told us that there was nothing that they could do because this is a civil matter, and I lived there. The only way that I would be evicted is if the courts issued a eviction notice.
The law come and got me. Took me away.
And then also with the incident of July the 4th, I also had his permission to be there. That conversation is also recorded from the time of me getting there, from the time of me leaving, from the time of him putting a gun to my head. He had called multiple times for me to come get my things, text my family members for me to get my furniture, my clothes. Everything is there. My understanding is if I didn't live there, why is my furniture there? Why is my bed, my couch, my clothes, my shoes? I shouldn't have that much belongings in the apartment that I do not live in.
All my bowling trophies from 1998. Why they there?
So I have with our...
Is he asking questions or is he just saying things? He's not a very good attorney. World's worst attorney. That's it. She can't make it. Go ahead. We're waiting. Is he slipped into a coma?
So with R22, that's the recording of the time that I got to the apartment to get my things to go. From the time I left, the police were called because I called them. He called me to get my things and only wanted to give me select few things that he wanted me to have. When I went into the apartment to get my things, he started pushing me into the refrigerator, hemming me up against the counter. He ran and grabbed the gun off the bed, put it to my head, cocked it, pushed me out the door by the gun, and cocked it again, telling me that if I do it again, that he would shoot me or something like that. But it's all on recording. So that's that recording from the time I got there, from the time I left.
Yeah,
Also,
the
with
pew-pew didn't
the
come out of nowhere.
accounts, he has had his guy friend or whoever that he's talking to at the time to reach out and send friend requests, which I think is kind of tired. He had him to add me on Facebook, not knowing that that guy literally records everything that he does. They're literally sitting in the truck that Mr. Davis is currently sitting in now. He recorded it and put it on social media. He acts as if he had no idea of who I was when he was in our apartment on July the 3rd and the 2nd. He also recorded Mr. Davis talking about the case. He also has text messages of Mr. Davis telling him that he's legally separated and getting a divorce, and I will be served on the 7th. Also have documentation of that as well.
What does that matter though? Now we're getting off subject.
And that's going to be R9, R10, R11, R12, R13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. They're clearly in communication. He knows that I am married.
Mr. Jenkins, are you asking for R9 through R17 to be admitted?
Yes.
Any objection, Mr. Lamb?
Yes, Judge, I object on the basis of hearsay properly authenticated.
Okay, sustained. And what about the, was it R22?
R22 is a voice recording, and it's more so not hearsay. Those are messages that Mr. Davis was sending Mr. Hargrove, stating that Mr. Hargrove knew that we were married. They were together on,
Well, that has nothing to do with the protection order. It just shows he's
they were just together on Thursday when Mr. Hargrove sent me a friend request when they were together, stating that I messaged him saying something about he had no idea that we were married. It was actually Mr. Davis trying to get insight because he had no evidence of his case. So I have all that proof as well.
I'm gonna need a drink.
Do you object to R22?
Judge, I object to R22 to the extent it has Mr. Hargrove's text because those are hearsay. I also object to the relevance. I don't know how this has anything to do with the application for the protective order and the specific incidents that Mr. Davis has testified to support the protective order.
Well, it has something to do with the protective order due to that someone that's Mr. Davis, that's on Mr. Davis' side, that's contacting me or having tried to have any type of contact to do with me. Also, there was an incident on June the 16th where I seen Mr. Davis and he was clapping his hands really, really loud, screaming and hollering that he would whoop me and fight me. And then shortly afterwards, he gets on social media saying that the next time he see me, it's on site. That he's gonna fight one of the people that I was with that night. And I also made a police report of that as well. I was expecting it to be attached to the case as well, but apparently we're doing a grand jury or something, jury referral. So we're waiting for that report as well.
Well, can we hear the phone calls? at
Okay,
least, or
right.
messages?
What does that have to do with today?
Today?
The protective
Because this shows if a person is really scared and he's scared that I'm going to do something to him, a person wouldn't be violent, wouldn't try to find any type of way to contact me, wouldn't say anything that's harmful or something that, because at that incident, I left Dallas and went to stay with my parents because I didn't know what was going to happen next if he saw me out in public again. And I have emergency protective order against Mr. Davis already.
What?
Okay. Well, did you want to ask Mr. Davis those questions?
Yes.
Because you had the opportunity to ask him.
What? He already has a
Ma'am,
protective
I'm sorry.
order?
I said you had the opportunity to ask him. I asked you, do you have any questions of Mr. Davis?
Oh, I thought that was regarding what the attorney was saying at the time.
World's worst attorney.
Okay, anything else?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Lamb?
Nothing further from the applicant, Your Honor.
A protective order.
Okay, do you have any questions for Mr. Jenkins?
No. I'm going to rely on what he said on his own and the testimony of my client and Ms. Featherstone.
Who's calling somebody?
Okay. Do you rest, Mr. Jenkins?
I also want to know, like, if my protective order that was supposed to be filed on today is gonna be, because I was told that today when I came to court that it would have all that information as well.
I'm not aware of any protective order being filed. You filed a protective order where?
With Frank Crowley, they said that they were gonna go ahead and file it on my behalf due to I already have an emergency protective order that I also submitted. And that's R1 that I have, and he's aware of the protective order that was issued on July the 5th.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Uh-oh. He making up
Who did you
stuff.
file it with?
Ma'am?
Where did you file it at, sir?
So I had, it was a lady called named Natalie. I was talking to Miss Sandra Martin at first. And then I filed, they said they were gonna be calling me back. Miss Natalie is the one who reached out to me. She asked me to send her my driver's license.
That's in the district attorney's office.
I think
Yeah,
so.
that's in the district attorney's office. Yeah, you actually talked to Miss Archie in the district attorney's office. Yeah, you're not talking to Miss Sandra anymore yet. They haven't done anything yet because I don't see it in the system.
Got you. And she just
Okay.
asked me to send the my driver's license and things over, and that they were gonna file it on my behalf.
So everybody's
Mhm.
just taking out protective orders now. How about we just stay away
That's
from each
true,
other?
Judge.
Throw this out.
You said, I'm sorry,
That is true, Judge.
that the DAs are filing a protective order.
That's what Miss Archie did speak with him. I do remember her speaking with him.
Were you aware of that, Mr. Lamb?
No, I was not, Judge. I knew about the EPO from the July 5th EPO, but I did not know that he has talked about filing, getting the DAs to file an application for a protective order.
Okay, so, Mr. Jenkins, you filed a protective order stating that Mr. Davis has been violent towards you.
Yes, ma'am.
But, okay, but you go to his residence for what purpose?
We live together, Your Honor. We actually live together. I stayed there from May the 1st to July 29th. The reason that I have keys, it's like when he gets upset, he goes change the locks. Just like the day he got caught cheating with someone on the phone and it got connected to my car is the reason why he rushed off to the apartment complex to change the locks. When the police came, the police said he has place of residence. This is his mail. He lives here. There's nothing I can do. I cannot make him leave. I cannot make you let him in. But the only way that I'll be able to let him go is the fact that if the judge does an eviction notice. So he thought that if he went to the office and talked to Ms. Amber and get her to say that I don't live here and to write these documents, that would mean that I don't have to stay there. But by law, I live there because I've been there since May 1st. And that's where my mail went. That's where all of my belongings are. If I did not live there, I wouldn't have a closet full of clothes. I wouldn't have a bed that's there. I wouldn't have furniture that's in there. I wouldn't have anything for you to give me. Stating, I also have messages also that I submitted that he's texting me to come get my belongings and furniture because he don't need them. If that's the case, if I have all of that there, why wouldn't I live there?
Okay, but you understand Ms. Featherstone said you was not on the lease.
I wasn't on the lease. That's the truth. I was not on the lease. But however, I still lived there on multiple occasions. That's the reason why she's seen me there. The date that I came there on in April, when I came there the first time, we were on the phone with Mr. Davis. And as I left the office, I went into the gate, into the house. I even answered the door when she brought the letter.
Okay, but if you had keys and you lived there, why did you need to go to the leasing office and ask Ms. Featherstone to let you in? To get
No,
your
that's-
belongings.
Because they're electronic keys. And he calls and tells the office to change the locks. He has changed the locks on 2 occasions. This is the second time he changed the locks. I have both keys. I never took anything from him. He gave them to me. I never stole anything from him. Those are our keys. I still have one of the keys. He gave me a key to live there. We live together. Everybody knows that. There's no secret about it. I don't have a reason to sit here and be coming or going on about this, that this is where I live. That was my place of residence. And yes, it is true that in February, we lived at the Lucas. I did pack my belongings and left. We were back together within 2 days.
Oh.
And we moved into the Lively together. And if Miss Amber has footage, she'll see that I moved everything in. I even bought a U-Haul, moved everything in.
Oh yeah, they're married, legally married.
Is
he
that
steal the
correct,
key?
Mr. Davis?
That's definitely not correct. That when he left the old apartment and I moved into Lively, my own, I have a text message that shows that he said that, oh, I know where you live, X, Y, and Z. Because we still had a couple issues and kinks to work out. And I was like, no, you don't. He named some other apartments. I said, no, that's not it. Because my car is very distinctful.
I think you're right.
And so he ended up, I guess he's like, I'm going to find out. It's in the message as well. And I guess he ended up finding out. And I said, yeah, that's where I'm at. And that was, I think, on the 6th or 7th of March. And he's saying, we moved in together. First he said he moved in May. So which one is it? You moved in with May or
we moved in March. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say May. Those text messages that he are talking about, he was like, you don't know where we live and where I live. And I'm like, yes, I do. Then, because he had posted on social media, he said, well, I'm gonna wait till you get here. Those are also in the text messages because he was waiting for me to get there so that we could go to Kroger. And those are also in the text messages as well. From that day forward, we were in the apartment sleeping on the air mattress. I still had all the furniture and everything still in storage. So maybe like a week later, I came with the U-Haul, moved all of our things in, and I've literally been there every day since. And also, the Lively has cameras. You can go back and pull all of that footage as well. We still have timestamps and dates on our text messages that proves that I brought that U-Haul there, that I lived there, that I was there every day. That was my place of residence, whether he wants to admit it or not. We're under oath, so we're going to tell the truth. So the truth is that I lived there. If I didn't live there, I would have no reasons to go there. If I didn't live there, I wouldn't have belongings, furniture, clothes, and anything else that is there.
I'm at a loss with this, man. A loss. Oh, I heard those are very good.
Does he have clothes there, Mr. Davis?
No, ma'am. Like when he moved out his things, and then even like he did have some shoes that he left in a belt. He was naming out small items, and I gave them to him. And the video, making the video, I made a couple of videos too. I would like if you left something out, I don't mind giving it to you. But that's not like you got a house full of stuff that you live there. You know, we had issues and we was working things out. And then once we get on a good note, it got back bad, and he'll go stay with his aunt.
All right, so there's a lot going on. I did not want to mangle and talk all over the top of this. I thought it was going to go perfectly for Mr. Davis. Jenkins was blowing it right and left. And then he starts talking about the pew pew. He starts talking about all this other stuff going on. I mean, now I don't know. He's got a protective order going in. I really don't know.
Most his belongings was as unhoused. Most of his clothes was as unhoused. But he did have his work clothes there because he would stay at night, 2 nights, 3 nights.
That's him, not me.
And go to work from there. So that's true. But he did not live there permanently. We discussed it. Yes, we definitely discussed it. But now when we have all these issues, we can't live together because he even told my mother that he's gonna get me evicted. Like, why would I want you to live with me? I can't do that. I'm too old for that.
Your Honor, we live together. We live together. All of my things were in the house. Mr. Davis, the night of the incident, Mr. Davis got a trunk full of my stuff and dropped it off at my auntie's apartment the day we got into the incident. I had to leave to go home to my cousin's funeral due to gun violence. As I got back, he was texting my grandmother, also texting me, telling me to come get my furniture because he doesn't want it if I don't want it by the dumpster before his new furniture come. He also told me come get the rest of my things because he doesn't want anything from me. My thing is this, I can't live somewhere. How can I not live somewhere where my belongings are? Like furniture, bed, everything that's there. It doesn't make sense. There were never a couple of nights. That's where I lived. That's where I received my mail. That's where everything that we had going on was there together in that home. I don't see there's a reason to be lying about something that's so minute. We lived in the same house together. We lived in the same house together. And it's okay to tell the truth. We lived there. And that's okay. Because after multiple times of calling the police, why don't you think the police ever made me leave? Because they said, what? This is his place of residence. Y'all are married. This is a civil matter. He doesn't have to leave. So he thought that if he went to the office to get a letter from Miss Amber, that was going to cause him to make me leave. When the police came the first time, I left on my own because I wanted to keep down drama and confusion, not because they made me leave. That's also in the police report with Garland. And you're aware of that as well.
Me too.
And also, just like you went before the judge and told a false statement saying that I did not have permission to be there, that's also false. That's also in the recording that I recorded from the time we were on the phone to the time we were there.
Justin's
Okay,
really
but
turned
do
me
you
around.
understand, Mr. Jenkins, that Mr. Davis doesn't want you to come by that residence anymore?
Oh no, so I'm through. I don't want to be around them at all. I don't want to see him. I don't want to do anything. It's too mentally abusive. He's mentally abusive, emotionally abusive, physically abusive. I don't want to be around him at all. I don't want to be in his space at all. He doesn't even live at that apartment. I don't live at that apartment anymore. I don't care where he lives or where he does. He can go about his business. I'm okay with being away from him. I don't want to be around him. My thing is this. He vacated the apartment and took all of my belongings with him and moved to a different location. He literally took my iPad, my AirPods, my Fire Stick, TVs, furniture, beds, everything, and moved on with all of my things and tried to get a protective order just so I can't retrieve any of my personal belongings.
Okay. Anybody gonna say anything?
Do you have any
Judge,
questions, Mr. Lamb?
attorney,
No, Your
anybody?
Honor.
This is gonna get thrown out. Nobody's gonna get anything right here. Watch.
Okay, when was the last time you all communicated with each other?
The last time I seen him was the date he got arrested for pulling a gun on me, which was July 5th. I haven't been in any communication with him since. They told me that I had a protective order. They did an EPO protective order for him against him on July the 5th. July the 4th was the last I seen him. July 5th is when the EPO was granted.
And Mr. Davis, that is true that you knew you had an emergency protective order against you and you were arrested? Yes or no?
Yes, I got arrested.
And are there currently pending charges?
Yes, ma'am. I don't know what's going on with that.
Yeah, Judge, I don't, as far as I know, the DA has not filed a case yet.
Well, they reached out to me and she asked me, was I okay with the charges? I agreed. And she said that's going to the jury next. She said it's going to take about at least 3 to 4 weeks before we hear something back. And that's that. That's the last I've known of that. And that's when she sent me a copy of my protective order because I didn't receive a copy of the EPO until like last week.
Okay, anything else? Anything
No,
else?
I'll say something, Mr. Lamb.
I'm sorry?
I was asking Mr. Lamb if it's okay if I said anything about that
No.
altogether.
No. Nope. Say no.
Well, if you do have charges pending against you, what you say in this hearing regarding those charges will be used against you at whatever other trial, every other hearing. So I don't know if what you're gonna say has something to do with that, or what were you wanting to say? Something to do with what Mr. Jenkins has said about this protective order?
It's the entirety of it. I think it brings back from the first incident from November to November. And it's always like it's been a plan to try to set me up to do something, to get back at me. And it's looking like, since I didn't file this on June 29th because I had my nieces there with me, and I didn't want to leave them at the house where Mr. Jenkins would show up, and I ended up waiting till after they left, and then he ended up coming back, showing back up, and I didn't get a chance to go do this first. It's like he tried to hurry up and do it before I did anything, and now it's like now I got stuff on me. That's it's like a get back thing.
All right.
Well, Your Honor, I can say I'm not a tit for tat person. This has never been a thing of mine. I don't get involved with police officers, with drama, with anything like this at all. This was my first incident it was in November. He was drunk. He's an alcoholic, for one. He gets drunk. He gets belligerent. He wants to put his hands on you, say mentally abusive things to you, tell you how you're worthless and I hate you, you're a mistake, puts his hands on you, swings me around on the balcony by my hair. I'm trying to literally get away from him. He has me by my hair with his knee in my throat, and I get arrested because I literally put a scratch on his face as I'm literally trying to get out of the door, and he's holding me by my hair from getting out, throwing vases. And that's when I screamed to the neighbor for the neighbor to call the police. And they called the police. And because I ran downstairs waiting for the police, Mr. Davis is in the hallway cleaning up all the glass that he has thrown out there in the hallway. And it looks like it was more scratches on his face when the police came and they arrested me. And as I told Mr. Davis, after he came and picked me up from jail in my car, I told him that there was a witness willing to testify, and he dropped the charges. Not because he felt like we were doing anything, because there was a lady and the neighbor was willing to testify, and he dropped the charges. Her name is Miss Regina Sanders. She was supposed to be on this call, but she got called back into work. She is willing to testify to say that my statement is true and that she saw and called the police. And so there's never been a get back thing. For one, why would I continue to keep staying with somebody that I'm trying to get back at when I genuinely love this person?
Good to see you, buddy.
Genuinely was trying to work on our marriage. This is just too much, mentally and physically draining. I can't deal with it anymore. And at this point, it's like I'm away from him now. I could have got my things and left peacefully, but yet he didn't want to be peaceful. He wanted to send all these bad things, bad text messages, videos of him having sex in our apartment, on the balcony, outside, sending me all these things to try to hurt me because he realized that he has done so much that he can't come back from. Not to mention, he even wrote me a letter saying that he apologizes for all the things he has put me through this past year. And that's also submitted as well. I think that's one of the last documents I submitted, that he apologizes for all the drama that he has brought me this past year and all the things he has put me through. And whatever I want for him is what I'm going to get. I don't have time to keep going through this. He feels that he's 35 years old, and just because I'm 26, that he can manipulate me and tell me what to do, how to feel, how to think. And I'm tired of it. I am so tired of it.
Oofa, indeed. All right.
So you, Mr. Jenkins, you have charges pending against you too?
No, ma'am. Those charges were dropped. Those charges are dropped due to the fact that there was a witness and he dropped the charges because it's not like he was going to win the case anyway. The case is going to be won because there is a witness willing to testify stating that Mr. Davis put his hands on me.
Okay.
Judge, the only investigation I'm aware of, the November incident was dropped. That there is an investigation that's open right now with Dallas PD regarding the July 20 or the June 29th incident.
Okay. Okay, so the court is going to deny the protective order. However, the court's going to put in place a permanent injunction as to you all being within 500 feet of each other. So you all are not to go near each other. Don't try to go to his residence, Mr. Jenkins. Don't try to find out where he lives. Don't try to look on social media and see who he's in the car with or what he's doing, or contact whoever he's in a relationship with to get recordings. Neither one of y'all do any of that.
They came to me. I didn't record. So the thing is, I only recorded what came to me. So
okay, but then you said you don't like drama. That's drama. So you should have been like, I'm not interested in any of that. Period.
That's absolutely correct. My thing is this: the DA told me to record it and to get documentation of it because this is ways of him. Like, I don't even, like, deep down in my heart, it wasn't even the Lamar guy. It was Fennell. Fennell was using his page, trying to get something.
Which that
and he doesn't have anything. And the DA told me to record it. But he had deleted it before I could screen record it. Because it's just like, why are you adding me when you know who I am? You've been in our apartment. There are literally wedding photos of us all around our apartment.
The idea.
So why would you not know who I am? And then in the message, he goes, I didn't know you were married. He don't have pictures of you on your page, and I couldn't see your page. Well, how do you know who I am to even look at my page?
But why are you addressing that? Like,
yeah, well,
why?
That has nothing to do with this.
Why are you even giving energy to that?
I only gave energy into it to get my proof from him, for this case. That's the only reason. Because at this point, it's just like I go out with my friends. I'm normally the one in our relationship to go out. The gay scene,
he's going to talk about the gay scene now. We get the idea. Let me get a thumbnail. That's the thumbnail right there, kids. Make sure you look for that. All right, we've come to the end of this because the charges, the request for the protective order for Mr. Davis has been denied. They said, no, this is crazy. And it is. This is insane. Absolutely nuts. Okay. I'm going to leave now and come back in just a few. I think Creed was supposed to join us for court, but maybe he couldn't. Something come up. But I think we had a guarantee for We Got a Chase. So keep an eye out for that. Hopefully everybody, yes, he won. You won, bud. You won. We appreciate everybody stopping by. Make sure you like this video. If you haven't already subscribed to our case only channel, it's called We Got a Case. Yeah, that's catchy. Yeah, there was no way I could talk over that. And if I'd have kept pausing it, we'd be here till next month. And I hate talking over crucial information. We appreciate all you guys coming by, all the donos. Mikey's ready for some lunch. I'm going to go have some lunch, get ready, and probably about, I got about 30-minute break before I have to start getting ready for We Gotta Chase. That's right. We Gotta Chase, everybody. Thirsty Thursday. The drunks are here, and they're drunk. There we go. Creed will be joining us, I hope. We'll see. We'll see. Love you guys. You're the best. I say it once, I'll say it a million times. The world's most dangerous chat right here. These peoples. Love you guys. And yeah, until next time.
These biscuits. Hey!
something, wasn't it? Man. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Don't stop now. I'm getting excited.
Well, I'm not.
I said goodbye, vamoose.